There are two Taylor Swifts. There's a Taylor Swift that exists, a person. She reads, writes, thinks. She's real. And then there's Taylor the character, the Taylor that lives in the lyrics, who evolves with each album. She has arcs, changes, defeats, and triumphs, great heartbreaks, and greater adversaries. Her albums unfold like novels or TV shows starring her, each season or album expanding her mythology. Like Harry Potter or Walter White or Batman, Taylor is one of the greatest characters of the 21st century. Season 12, The Life of a Showgirl, adds another layer to the character. But for those of us who have followed the hero's journey from album 1, many of us have left album 12 feeling uncharacteristically cold. There's a stark shift in personality and outlook. Taylor Swift has never sounded so cynical. Many have accused her of having a victim complex. I disagree with this assessment. Any protagonist needs conflict. Batman doesn't have a victim complex. He's simply working against the forces that seek to redefine his narrative. That's the role of a hero, to struggle against the antagonist. Taylor the character is no different. She needs someone to push against her story in order for her morals and lessons to crystallize. The heartbreaks and interpersonal clashes that make up her discography have been well documented, but what's less discussed is the final song on each album, the concluding chapter before the next book. Historically, these aren't just conclusions. They're glimpses into her glittering future. No matter how torrid or tortured or tormenting an album's subject matter is, the last song is always a beacon of optimism. Think about it. Change from Fearless. These things will change. Can you see it now? The walls that they put up to hold us back will fall down. Long live from Speak Now. Long live the walls we crashed through. I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. Daylight from Lover. I want to be remembered for the things that I love, not the things that I hate. I think that you are what you love. Evermore from Evermore. I knew this pain wouldn't be for evermore. And on her last album, arguably the most tortured of all, the final line on the standard edition is, "The future's bright, dazzling." But The Life of a Showgirl sees Taylor at a moment of narrative conclusion, a roadblock she's never faced before. She got the ring and the support of man. She conquered the industry that stole her voice. She rose to the absolute top of her profession. What optimism is needed in an already dazzling present? For a fictional character, this is where the story would end. But Taylor Swift is not just a character. There are two Taylor Swifts. Taylor is also a person. And people don't have final verses. They live to tell another story. In my opinion, the reason Showgirl's writing feels so uncharacteristically unfocused and half-baked is because our author accidentally resolved her own story. Life of a Showgirl spends its runtime straining against the back cover of its own book, fighting its closing. Maybe we can find these new adversaries on the first track, The Fate of Ophelia. Is it the former lovers who drove her heart to the fate of Ophelia and left her in uncurable melancholy? Or maybe we can find it on Elizabeth Taylor, the vast riches she collected that have left her as the girl with everything and nothing at once. Perhaps we can revisit those shadowy industry figures on Father Figure, whose love is pure profit, who want to see you rise but not reign. Maybe the new foe is the internet, like on Eldest Daughter, filled with trolls and memes and traders and smooth operators. Or other pop stars, like detailed on Actually Romantic, so obsessed with Taylor that she's buying a ticket to Splash Mountain. Or the unnamed crusaders in Cancelled, who canceled Taylor Swift and her allies, leaving her shattered like glass and giving her and her friends matching scars. If you're exhausted by this list, I don't blame you. Each song finds Taylor Swift storming into another evacuated castle, waving a steel sword over the body of a dragon she's already slain. The prince is waiting in their bedchamber, but she's too busy counting healed scars in the mirror. All the critics in the kingdom can be seen from the heights of her record-breaking success and vast wealth. She isn't bringing a tiny violin to a knife fight like she claims in Cancelled. She's bringing a Glock to a ghost town. Everyone's already dead. Taylor is too smart not to know this, and too savvy to admit it. So instead, we hear her struggle to find a body that's still warm. So now that all the foes are defeated, the optimism typically reserved for Taylor's final track is replaced by something new. The guarded cynicism of someone waiting for the next boss in a video game, punching the air in the meantime. On the final track of this album, The Life of a Showgirl, you hear this cynicism loud and clear. The last song's lyrics say, "I'd sell my soul to have a taste of the magnificent life that's all mine. But that's not what showgirls get. They leave us for dead." But that's not what Taylor Swift got, and she knows it. On the same track later on, she says that she's immortal, that she couldn't die if she tried. Yet she's still fixated on the lipstick and the lace concealing her pain, the ice in her veins, how she's been ripped off like full slashes. Harry Potter doesn't lament his scars after defeating Voldemort. Walter White doesn't write a treatise on his pain after taking down Gus Fring. We don't linger on Batman to see him process his trauma after the Joker is put behind bars. Those are characters, and the character's purpose has then been fulfilled. But Taylor is both a person and a character, and both seem confused. Running around the castle walls, wondering what happens when a character's purpose is complete, but the real person keeps living. The Life of a Showgirl is a sound of an artist scraping her pen against the paper, struggling for words when the ink has run dry. In the play Hamlet, when Hamlet kills Polonius, Ophelia's father, Ophelia is left alone in the world, stripped of its meaning, without the two men who gave her her agency and purpose. Disoriented, she wanders, singing half songs filled with mixed metaphors and aimless prose, unsure of where to aim her personhood now that the two external forces that defined it are gone. Taylor, in her recent press tour, said that she worried that if she were ever to become happy,
to kind of have this dark fear that if I ever were truly like happy and free being myself and nurtured by a relationship, and what happens if the writing just dries up?
But maybe the real danger was something else all along. What happens when there's nothing left to change or begin again or get clean from? In a brief moment of lucidity from her stupor, Ophelia says, "Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be." And maybe that's where both Taylors find themselves now. One human, one myth, still alive, but standing in the afterglow of her own legend, pen in hand, waiting for the next story to begin again.